Hey everyone, Samurai Kai here. Today I'm going to be watching the 9th episode of the 4th season of Overlord. In last episode we kind of had like a bit of an incident, brought on by stupidity, and essentially all the factions, political leaders deciding what to do about it, right? So, I think that more or less summarizes the previous episode. And ended off with like Albedo just kind of strolling on in, and the king making his own proposal on how to handle things, and yeah, I'm pretty curious to see exactly what everyone will actually end up doing. So let's jump on in and find out. 3, 2, 1. Just here to say hi. Not a big fan of that, I see. And there you go. I mean, a king's head's worth a lot, so... But we still did not get to see the answer to that suggestion yet, so... I feel like that's probably not going to end up happening. But you never know in this show. They killed off like the best hero that they had, right? Yeah, now we get to see their reactions at least. Well... It does kind of imply some confidence that things will be okay when he's gone. Damn. That is a pretty big thing. I didn't think it would be like a war declaration. You don't do that, man. Yeah, I suggest you shut up. You know, idea easy that woman could kill everyone in here in like a flash. Because she's supposed to be more powerful than like the floor leaders, right? A little bit of a surprise, that's one way to put it. They're not having a good time. There does seem to be a lot of combat in the opening, so I guess we'll explain why that's a thing. They really don't need to. And live to tell the tale. Which wasn't even a fight. Oh, we need a good wielder. Yeah, that's a thing. Already, wow, okay, that went by quick. As always. She lit up so much when she got praised by him. Right. Because it's definitely something you want to avoid. Okay. So Floor Master's kind of going more of like a general than a Floor Master, the more we kind of expand. Sure there was. I know they will. Oh, a seaside town. That sounds cool. I'm sure it doesn't. Okay. What are we doing here? So yeah, where is this going? That's some interesting artwork. So what is Nigredo like? Oh, scissors! Oh god, scissors! When did it get blood on it? Jesus, I faced that everything. They started it. No. Yeah, proper chain of command and all that. Yeah. Desu one. Definitely a very different sort of attitude than we usually get from Nazarick people. I mean, he's a skeleton, so he really shouldn't be getting much out of this. But... Sorry to remind me a little bit of Cabeless from Ranston. Apparently not. Okay, that again. The wolves make it hard to take her seriously. She forgot to do it. Okay, so that's the reasoning behind it. Gotcha. It's a long story, just get a quick answer to that. But I guess it's fine. Since we got to meet, new character. And here's our port town, water town, whatever it was called. She looks pretty cool. Like her design. But they got a flag. And Death Knights. Which not many people can raise those. The man looks so piratey. Okay then. So that makes it okay. Discrimination against undead is terrible. I mean, you only really escape if they want you to escape, is kind of the takeaway. I wish you all the best of luck. That's a voice. Whew. That sounds pretty great. Lily Ned, huh? Sounds like a deal to me. I can't follow all that. Yeah, she just seemed quite knowledgeable about this stuff. I'd like clarification, please. I see some sweat. I hope that's sweat, but I guess it's not. Jesus, this woman. I did. Yeah. Man, did that change the atmosphere of this scene. I can only imagine what she's fantasizing about as she rubs her staff over there. But yeah, okay, now that everyone's a little bit uncomfortable, let's get to battle. Okay, let's see what kind of defense they can mount. Because they got a limited amount of arrows, so you know, those aren't going to do nothing against the Death Knights. So take it these undead that were harvesting before, because they have, like, you know, harvest like farming equipment. Okay, we get fancy light show magic. Yeah, he doesn't care. Doesn't care one bit. Are they effective enough, though? Just, yeah, run to the fire. Trust me, he has a lot more of those if you want to send them out. That is so intimidating. Yeah, just ram through the gate. These are some brave warriors. Didn't pay me enough to fight a Death Knight. Shame she puts a helmet over that beautiful hair. You can tell what the tank is. One more hit. Okay, there we go. I had a feeling that would do it. So, hope you're ready. Cats are doing stuff. Oof. She took it pretty well, but I still don't see her winning this fight, but luckily she does have like a, backup, so it's not like she's one of you winning it. So maybe oh, that's what that sound was, okay. Yeah, the problem is that's not the only enemy. If it was, maybe you guys would have a chance, but doesn't care. Well, what's plan B? Just kind of floating there. This woman does not speak for me. What was that? Somebody attack? Like a shot to the forehead? What? Oh, damn. Well, that did it. Who's attacking? Nobody's that powerful unless it's Iron's team. Okay, I think I recognize that from the opening. I mean, that looks like Shalatir's armor, kind of, but oh, shit. But I'm pretty sure it's not. Oh, damn. You definitely want that on your team. Who is in that armor? Vermilion drop, is that what you said? Okay, if that wasn't part of Ainz' group, that's insane power. But it looks like Ainz knows what's going on, so... Because, pretty much nothing in the show so far has been able to take on a Death Knight. Much less, like, roasted like that. Like it's, like in a few leagues below you. Like nobody in the show that's not part of Nazarick has done that, so... But one woman, seemed like she knew what that was about. So I don't know. Definitely piqued my interest. Because I know we've had Adamantite level, characters in the show before, but they've always been much weaker than Nazarick peeps, right? Like, it was a thing where, what's her name? Red Eye, I want to say, with, the Blue Roses. She was, like, at least a couple of tiers higher than the people that were, than the rest of her group, right? And I assume the rest of the group was more in line with the typical Adamantite. So there's no way a regular Adamantite could do that. I mean, so obviously something's going on here. Okay. Okay, well, that was the 9th episode of Overlord Season 4. And yes, much like the last episode, there was a lot of, talking and deciding what to do. Because, the kingdom just kind of had a war declared upon them, so they had to kind of take all that in and decide what they're going to do about that. Right? We also got to, meet a new character. I don't remember what her name was. Okay, Nigredo. Okay, I think was her name. And she was banned from leaving Nazarick, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've ever met her. Because as I was watching this, thinking to myself, okay, that name doesn't really sound familiar. Is it someone we know that I'm forgetting, or is it somebody new? That's always the question, and turns out that's definitely somebody new. Like, giant pair of scissors. Okay, they did have blood on them to start with. So, I confirmed that at least. But yeah, she very much has kind of like a, Sadako kind of the ring girl kind of look to her. Aside from like having like no skin on her face. Which is just terrifying, because she has that in addition to all the other horror kind of stuff associated with her. And somehow when she's just sitting there the normal conversation is even scarier than when we first saw her. I don't know, it just... And the surprising thing is she seemed to be much more on the side of like a human sympathizer, like wanting to keep them alive and all that. What are they doing? And that's, yeah, very different than what we've gotten before, because they did make a thing about how so many of the Nazaric floor masters and stuff, they just not a big fan of humans, right? So to her to be like this definitely was very different. But Ain's, you know, very understanding, progressive kind of leader. He's willing to take the opinions of everyone, even, you know, my own minority ones. So I guess he acted on that to let some people go. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, I imagine a lot of Nazaric probably would not be a big fan of that decision. But we have this new town called I can't say that. Nile. It's a port city, right? And, you know, we have like a kind of a piratey looking guy as the leader, I guess. And we also have some powerful people here to help fight, right? So they do their best once they're called the Four Armaments or something like that. So they're pretty tough, but Death Knights still are tougher, right? So we had a little bit of talking there. And we had the silver-haired girl. We also had Lily something was her name. She had kind of like a priestess sort of look to her. And, you know, one look at her and she did seem kind of like a, I don't know the best way to describe it. It's, you know, like a lewd girl. I don't know, she kind of gave me that impression. And pretty much as soon as I heard her voice, a lot of my assumptions about her character felt true. But she decided she wanted some kind of family heirloom, the 5-colored holy sword, right? And apparently he was willing to part with it with a bit of a deal. He basically said, I'll give it to you if you marry my son as a concubine. Okay, there it is. Lilynet's her name. A lot of people not a big fan of that either. I guess they wanted Lilynet for themselves, understandably. And Lilynet made it very clear that she has pretty much a full understanding of his family situation, I guess, and was able to deduce, you know, who it was. But yeah, about the time when I saw the drooling, I started to pick up a little bit on you know, her mindset there. But, you know, they kind of made it more and more clear as the scene went on. But yeah, it was just not really where I expected that to go. I thought she'd say something like, you know, it's not worth it or whatever. That's kind of what I first thought she was gonna say, right? But no, it did not go in that direction at all. Went in a very, very different direction. But yes, then we had the actual combat itself, and pretty much they're dealing with an army of the undead, in addition to 2 Death Knights. So it's a lot to handle. Like, most of the undead haven't even gotten to the walls yet. It's just basically the 2 Death Knights, but that alone, questionable whether or not they could take it down. They did give it their best. They did do pretty much kind of raid, like MMO raid party kind of stuff, where they all like boost the tank, you know, the ones that are actually going to get hit by the enemy, right? So lots of boosts, so she does okay-ish against it. But like, it's one of those things where it won't last for too long, and pretty much everyone knows it. Especially when the second one shows up, that's kind of when they're like, we should probably leave, you know? We'll give you kind of a, you know, allow others to retreat sort of thing. And yeah, pretty much at the point of being very losing hope, right? Losing morale. And then suddenly, Death Knight gets sniped in the head. And I was so confused about what was going on. And then we had like multi-fire shooting, and then we saw some red person up there who looked kind of like a robot. Apparently a member of something called the Vermilion Drop, which I guess is another kind of a Manti group, kind of like the Blue Roses and stuff. Like, if so, I don't think we've ever heard of that until now, like in any context, I'm pretty sure. But she said that, which makes you think it's like a normal in this world sort of thing, rather than an Ain's setup thing. But then some stuff Ayn said after this made it seem like he knew what was going on, so I don't really know. The fact that it was just able to decimate that Death Knight like it was nothing. Like, you know, the fight 101 to come out on top after a lengthy fight is one thing, and that is another thing entirely. And you just, bam, dead. That's a big deal to do that to a Death Knight. Because just in the kind of the previous arc with the dwarves and stuff, you know, none of the enemies could 1v1 a Death Knight. Ain's thought maybe one did, but obviously it was a falling and everything like that. So being able to fight a Death Knight by yourself is a big deal. Being able to slaughter one like that is a huge deal. So yeah, I'm really curious exactly what's going on, and yeah, looking forward to next episode kind of hopefully maybe clarifying that for me. What exactly the deal is, because I haven't seen that before. Just machine gun down a Death Knight, but yeah, good stuff. So, Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.